terms of daily meditation, is this something that you, I mean, I wouldn't know how to meditate if someone said, okay, let's start the day by meditating. Is this something that people learn how to do? Do you train them? What is some of these?
When I refer to daily meditation, we'll get a book, which is called the Daily Meditation, or Just for Today, or as Bill sees it, some Alcoholics Anonymous or Narcotics Anonymous literature, and we'll read the days, the chapter. It's usually each day, and we'll discuss that. We'll talk about it.
So it sounds like you're talking about routine. You're talking about a lot of support. You're really talking about structuring lives with a lot of support. That's what this is about.
And practicing these 12-step recovery programs that now have been available since the late 30s and have proved to be the most successful way of treating alcoholics and drug addicts. There are those who say that 12-step programs aren't effective, but nothing so far has been shown to be quite as successful, and we emulate those steps. The members of the Athens County recovery community are frequent visitors over to the Clem House. We have members of the recovery community sponsor. Each individual living at the Clem House has to have a sponsor within a couple of weeks, and these are people who've already stopped drinking, stopped drugging in the community to help them get strong.
You mentioned earlier that the court system sometimes refers people to the Clem House. Do you work with the court system at all in trying to get nonviolent criminals who have, because of their addiction, did some kind of nonviolent crime? Do you work with the court system to try to get them to refer to Clem House as opposed to jailing people?
Sure. I mean, the judges in the court system learned long ago that putting alcoholics and drug addicts in jail, doesn't get them clean or sober for any length of time beyond the time spent in jail.
But our criminal system really doesn't know that. I mean, a lot of people are in jail for.
Yeah, well, yes. But in any event, in the 2-year period that led up to the opening of the Clem House, we visited all the 6 counties that we serve and met with all of the municipal judges who welcomed the idea of the Clem House. So we have a relationship with them. We have a relationship with the parole officers in the different counties. Not all of the clients that come to the house have criminal backgrounds or are court ordered by any means. But it is an opportunity for a judge in Benton County or Gallia County to say, we really think you would benefit from time spent at the Clem House. Or if you don't want to do that, you can go to jail.
Now, which counties feed into Clem House?
We serve Hocking, Athens, Benton, Meigs, Gallia, and Jackson.
And if someone wants to, do volunteers work at Clem House? If someone wants to get involved with Clem House, how would they go about doing that?
They would call me, or they would come in, and I would determine whether they're genuine in their concern about wanting to be a volunteer. I have to be careful about who I let in Clem House. There's a screening process. I go through a screening process. I am very protective of the Clem House and the clients in Clem House. They're my charges, and I need to know who's coming in, who's going, why you're here. You can't just call Clem House and want to inquire about somebody. Also, I'd like to add something what Dr. Meyer spoke about the courts. There's a screening process that goes through the courts. We don't just let any type of client who has a criminal background into the Clem House. That's, we're very, we're somewhat particular about that because of the community, so we need to be concerned about.
Can friends and family come and visit?
Yes.
And are they free to come and go? Are there regular visiting hours?
The regular visiting hours are on Saturdays and Sundays.
Do people living at Clem House, do they have access to television? Do they have access to the internet? Are they free to, pretty much is it like living in a home where you can freely access all those things?
Right. We have, right now we're in the process of getting some computers for a few of the clients. And well, for the clients, period, for the simple fact that one of the things we talked about this morning during group was that times are changing. Some of these people still want to go out and do raking and for instance, yesterday I had one of my clients go to look for a job. I took him for a job application, and they told him that he needed to do this via the computer, and he doesn't have a clue about the computer, you see. So, and this is what he, you know, not only he, but others are facing. And so we felt it was necessary to put him into that arena. Also GEDs, you know, we're
for high school diploma.
Right, you know, we're trying to make them feel better about themselves. That's part of this process.
The facility had been vacant for several years, and the recovery community renovated it and recarpeted it, painted it, fixed it up. It's a beautiful facility on Dairy Lane, and it has all the amenities that many homes have, TVs, radios, and all of that sort of thing. But it also comes with a long set of rules and regulations that people have to follow. And folks who are alcoholic or addicted to drugs and are active in their disease typically don't feel the rules and regulations apply to them. So part of our recovery program is getting those folks to realize that the same rules that apply to you and I apply to them. And discipline, to some extent, is involved. I don't mean to suggest that one can just say, well, I'm not going to drink or drug anymore, and if I have a lot of discipline, that'll work out, because we've learned that's not the case. But they have to toe the line, and Richard helps them do that.
Thank you both so much. I want to thank our guests, Dr. Christopher Meyer and Richard Briggs, for joining us today to talk about the John W. Clem Recovery House. For upcoming episodes, viewer feedback, and links to important information on health, log on to our website at the address that appears on your screen. Thank you for joining us on Health Vision, a production of the WOUB Center for Public Media.